Hello, my friends. Welcome back for some more pointless challenges. Yeah, we're going back to our other run here that we're going to keep going along with our DLC runs. Just because I want to finish this out, and because the DLC is going to change quite a bit while we're playing it, so this will definitely remain the same through this run, and we've still got stuff to do. We've still got these challenges over here, which are going to be taking every single dupe that is available to us until we reach 100. We must only use manual power, and we need to produce every food type by the end of the run. So that is what we're up to. Now that we're checking back, I'm at 90 duplicates right now, which is insane. I have never been anywhere close to this before. I want to say my previous high was probably like 55, and that was back when I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to get that many. So yeah, we're definitely doing some things that you would normally do in kind of a new player run, and trying to see if we can navigate it and actually make it work. So here we are. Some things that have changed since last time. Our oxygen is now fully up from this area over here, and it looks like we have some ethanol getting vaporized. Definitely don't want any of that. I might have to rebuild some of this. This has been a little bit of maintenance. I'm not super happy with how I've got this stuff put together, but it is working. We are not pumping water into our setup anymore. Who's starving and why? Do we really not have food coming in here? Well, we've clearly got some problems to solve here, but oh, this is actually a big deal. I need to clear this right now. So let me catch up on where we were. Getting some oxygen up. We have definitely gotten rid of all of our areas that are producing from polluted water. They are still producing a little bit, but not nearly as much as they were before. And I have a second bank over here that's getting started. So we will be getting on this here in just a moment. Do I have this hooked up incorrectly? It's not hooked up at all, so I definitely need to do that. And I think I just want it to go here. Why is this... Why is that at a certain direction? Oh, so it doesn't backflow. All right. There. We have fixed a bug. And I probably want to prioritize this so I can get it done pretty quick. There we go. Yeah, so getting this second bank of oxygen up here, this ought to be all I need are these two separate areas. These things support about 15 each. So between the two, it should theoretically support about 120 dupes, so we'll just roll with that. And if the base gets overpressurized to the point that they're not producing 100% of the time, then that's fine by me. I really don't mind that. So yeah, we are close to being on fully sustainable oxygen for an entire colony of 100 duplicants, so that's pretty cool. Here we are for our 91st, and our machine here is definitely telling us to come over and select a duplicant. Here we go. This was pretty easy. We definitely want... I've never even heard of this name before. This must have been part of an update or something? Could be from the DLC, but I don't know if they're actually sharing data yet, so... Huh. Anyway, we definitely need this person to be a supplier. Squeamish is one of the best downsides because doing doctoring errands almost does not exist in the base game, so yeah, one of the best dupes you can get right there. And I do need a supplier. I don't really have a lot more of those anymore, so yeah, good thing we got that. I may need to expand my food a little bit, but we're getting close, and we may start doing it in this video of actually getting out into space, which we didn't do before. The worst part about this big bank right here is I have to close these things one at a time, and it takes a long time to finally do, but we'll get there. We're getting there. All right, let's fix this ethanol problem over here. I think what happened is when I was pumping water from the bottom of the map, eventually a few packets of ethanol got in there, and once they get in here, they can liquefy to the... Or sorry, they can turn into gas and kind of float around and mess stuff up and then re-solidify into, or not solidify, but re-liquefy. So that can be a problem. Probably just get it out this way. In fact, I probably should have done this a long time ago. It'd be a good idea just to get everything out of there from the bottom by just opening it up and then rebuilding it. So yeah, we'll just do that. All right, yeah, this is definitely not super different than the last time, other than getting the rest of this up. So I do want to kind of give us a new project to work on. And like I mentioned, that project is going to be entering space, so let's go ahead and do that. We did start up here on the last video. It has not really been touched since then. We've got a lot of excess hydrogen that we need to let off. So we'll go ahead and do that. But as for getting out here, this is still, again, the base game, so we are going to need to protect ourselves. We have a good amount of steel, 15 tons. That's about average of what I would say when I get out into space. Maybe a little bit less than that, actually, is what's average. So we got a pretty good amount. Let's go ahead and start building up there. We do need to build our suits so we can start working out there, so I may as well do that now. And I think I'm just going to do it out of iron because we have so much of it from our smooth hatches. Let's get some docks up. And I think what's probably going to happen is eventually I'm going to move all of these duplicants up here. I'm going to have a colony that lives kind of very close to the top of where they need to be because I'm going to be using these dupes to run regolith over to feed our shove voles, which is a couple steps ahead of where we would normally be talking about this, but yeah, that's going to be the plan. And there's a lot. Look at how sad this is. There's so much hydrogen being blown out into space. This could generate so much power, it is silly. But yeah, this is definitely a shame, having to do something like this. But yeah, getting all that hydrogen out, because apparently we can't use it this game. Intentionally depriving ourselves of resources is a fun thing to do. So I think what I'm going to probably do is, I think in order to keep these suits filled and in order to keep these dupes breathing, I'm just going to have to dedicate one of these machines or one of these setups to just producing oxygen for that colony up there. So I think what I'm going to do... Do I need to dedicate it? Yeah, probably. Probably. Might as well. Let's go ahead and deconstruct some of this stuff that I was doing earlier that I probably shouldn't have done. And then we don't necessarily need to run it around here like that, but I guess I can. I don't want to take away from any of these lines that are going to some of the inner ones, but I guess I could just re-pipe this. I don't really need oxygen to be produced over here because nobody's really going to be living over here, so yeah, I'll just skip all that. Let's just run it up there like we normally would. Going way out of our way, but you know what? It's more fun that way. Why did I not put something here? That was weird. Alright. Then what I need is I need to run it up kind of parallel to this, because I still do want to blow all the stuff that I'm not using out into space. Oh, you know what else we need? We need an exosuit forge. Also need to pay attention to how many reed fibers we have. We have a good amount. This is normally coming from just this stuff. You can find it around the map. For those of you that have not gotten this far before, you can find it around the map in some of these slime biomes. These guys will produce reed fibers for you. So you can see just leaving these alone, they've produced 20 for me throughout the game. So pretty good thing to find and just kind of leave alone and let them produce for you, because then by the time you get out into space, it can be really handy. But yeah, we need an exosuit forge so we can actually make this. So let's go get one of these. Guess it doesn't really matter where we put it. I'll just put it at a place that already has power. So there we go. Hook that up. And then we just need to run something parallel to this. I don't think that we need to space this out anymore. I would normally do this if I was being a little bit more picky, but I think this is fine. By the way, a small strategy that I use if I ever want to run a lot of pipes in the same direction, you can either run them right next to each other and just expect that if something needs to cross, you will just put a bunch of bridges there. Or what I'll do a lot of the time is I will actually space it out. Let me see if I can get into this view. I'll space it out. It'll be better with these pipes. I'll space it out so I have space in between a lot of these areas so I can snake pipes through if I need to. Definitely not a very commonly talked about thing when it comes to piping, but it is definitely a thing that I will talk about eventually in one of these tutorial segments where we will just talk about piping, because I think that's one of the harder things for some new players to kind of get their head around, and I definitely struggled with a lot of that stuff at first too, so definitely appreciating what challenges that new players are facing and trying to make content for that, so we'll get to that soon. Okay, so we now have oxygen coming up here. Now we need power, and if we're running into space, let me think about this. What are we going to need up there for those duplicants? We're going to need some stuff for... 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 We're going the ranching. I'm wondering if I should run the whole heavy watt wire up there or not. And I usually do, but that's usually for solar panels, so I don't actually know if I should be doing this. Let's just go ahead and do it. Sure, why not? That's a great reason to do anything. Let's just do it. Alright. Drop some of this. Draw ourselves some lines up here. I am probably just going to dig through this so I don't have to cross any weird areas. So let's do something like that. And then draw our heavy watt wire. Alright, this wire does not matter anymore, so I can deconstruct a lot of this. At least that'll get me the metal back. And once we have that deconstructed, we can just continue to run this. I'll just run it along the ground here. Run all the way up. And this is not going to be a very attractive place for these dupes to be sitting, but, you know, they don't get to choose, so nuts to them. Hydrogen's starting to get a little bit more drained from here, but there's so much up here. Let me try to dig this out a little bit more so it does get out a little bit faster. Also, I'm going to continue to talk about this, but having this many dupes is hilarious because of how fast stuff gets done at this stage of the game. It's usually the stage of the game where you get so spread out that any projects on the outskirts of your base kind of take a really long time to get done. But this one's just like, nope, we have a whole army that'll just report to anything that you need done. So here we are. Just watching the lines here that get constructed. There's not a lot of progress going over here, but even just having this much done in the time that it took me to lay it down is a big deal. A lot can get done really fast with this many dupes. Alright, making some progress. Let's see if our exosuit forge is up, and we can start getting some of those out. Here we go. I think we made... Did we make 7 or 9? I can't remember. So also determine what my population is up there, because they're also going to all need their own suits. Maybe. Depending on how many... Yeah, I don't know how many I'm going to put up there, but we have 7 for right now, so let's go ahead and produce 7. Out of iron, because we have a ton of that. There we go. I don't know if I'm going to need more food also. Probably. My population of critters is finally stabilizing. We are on entirely glossy Drecos right now. So our plastic is getting up there. It's not great. But I also don't really need transit tubes that badly on this run. Mostly because the colony that's going to be up here is just going to be isolated. They will just stay here. And that's one of the biggest reasons why you will need that. So our transportation up here will be kind of slow to start out. Because we don't have that, but once dupes just live there, then it won't be that big of a deal. And I still do need to find shovels. I have not seen a single one yet. So as soon as we find them, we need to start capturing them and putting them somewhere. We need to build our whole terrarium first, and depending on how long this is, I don't think that it's going to be possible for us to start building out that terrarium. Maybe I'll try to save it for next time and just kind of do all the grunt work of getting out into space and getting ourselves protected. You can see this wire is almost already done, and it hasn't even been a cycle since we started it, so it's just hilariously fast with this many dupes. Get rid of this. Are these pipes still running up here? No. Okay, I must have gotten rid of half of this. Got to keep checking on this down here to make sure we're walling this off. There we go. Now turn this on, so this should be operational. Also, I'm not using ice on this side either. I'm just using a very simple setup that checks the temperature of the water. And if the temperature is too high, it will just start to flush it. And this is just connected back to my normal cooling system. So we're not doing anything silly like we were with the ice on this run, which we probably should have done. Because this one's still, like, it's getting colder in here, but it's not really all that cold. The polluted water and the normal cooling that we had would have done a lot better job, so... Kind of a silly option for us to go with that time. Also need to perform a little bit of maintenance in here. There was some stuff that was starting to boil inside the pipe, so I had to put this all in its own automation system so I could turn these pipes off, or turn these pumps off whenever I need to, in addition to turning off the aqua tuners. I'm also curious how many prisoners we're going to need, because the biggest need we're going to have eventually is liquefying hydrogen and oxygen, and that's going to take a fair amount of power as well, because it's going to take more of these aqua tuners. But I mean, in general, we're running a pretty low power colony, I would say, outside of all this automation, but all this automation is going to go away, or rather all this shipping is going to go away once we get out into space and we start really getting on our shovels, because the shovels are going to produce a hilarious amount of meat. Oh, I still need something up here to create a liquid lock. Let's just be lazy and let's drop it close to the destination. We might as well. Let's run this up. There we go. Now that we have oxygen coming up here, which I think they're already done with those pipes, which, yeah, I'm telling you, they produce things hilariously fast with this kind of population. Just got a few spaces missing here because they literally can't reach it, so. There we go. And then once we're up here, we just need to ask for the suits. So let's go ahead and deliver those. Oh, I forgot to set my supplier for those kinds of jobs. Oh, it takes so long to load. Supplying, storing, I usually put them on life support. Why do I always miss all these things when I'm not recording? Like, pretty much every single dupe since the last time that we saw this was not set up correctly. So, operating, farming, battery, 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 farming. Okay. Let's deliver these suits. And then we need to add power to this. You literally just look away and it's done. It's so fast. I'm sure everybody by now is like, yeah, we get it. It's fast. We get it. But it's fast. I'm surprised. All right, all we need is to get these suits up, and then these dupes can start really plowing through this and getting up into space. And we can start setting up our bunker doors at the top of there. The bunker doors, I guess I'm going to have to build all the same setup there. Oh, those are going to take a lot of power. I did not think about this. Although, now I'm considering whether we even need to power it at all. Because all we need to do is for it to eventually open. Oh, jeez. I'm smart. All we need to do is to have it eventually open. And then once it's open, the regolith will drop down. We'll mine it out. We'll ship it somewhere. Or we'll just manually carry it somewhere that those shovels can eat, and then we'll move on. So, yeah, I guess we don't really need that much power for up here, so that's good. Gonna start getting some water up in this liquid lock. We're not really that worried about losing hydrogen anyway, but this will eventually recede, so gotta take care of that. Alright, we are making progress. See how we're doing down here. There we go. And why are these not pumping? I guess they are, it's just not that much. I'm getting little packets of hydrogen through here, which has been a constant annoyance. And I guess would be part of why I need to really optimize this, because I think what you want a lot of times is you want this to be as close to the top as possible so that the hydrogen packets merge right away. But the other problem is that these are just blocked. Because I didn't build the pipes. Oh, yay. Don't you love that? You build a whole setup and you're like, wait, this isn't working. And you go to look at it and you're like, yep, I just didn't do something I was supposed to do. It shouldn't be too awful, though. Although getting in... Oh, no, this is going to be awful. Is there a better way to do this? So I don't have to draw all the way down there. This is the most, like, whack setup at the last minute I've ever seen. Guess we could go a little further down. Oh man, this is bad. Alright. Guess that would explain why hydrogen was getting in those little areas of pipe. Because we are not even pumping it out. Then we'll need to delete the... Well, can you actually get up there? No, not really. Yep. Gotta fix the bugs. Okay. How are we doing up here? And the builder has managed to build themselves into a corner. But that's okay. Are these actually something that they can use? I should probably make sure they're using mafic rock to do this, because That is very plentiful out here. There we go. Let's make sure we have this set up enough. Below 200 is fine. There should be oxygen starting to flow here soon. I think I hooked it up on... And there we go. Just look away and it's ready to go. All right. There's a lot of hydrogen coming out of here, but I guess it's to be expected if we're not actually venting it. Here go my loyal army just getting this stuff set up. Put this stuff up here. Still takes them a really long time to make a decision after they do something, so there still are performance concerns, but at least it's not like visible, as it hitches literally right as I'm saying that. At least it's not as visible, and having this many dupes on this big of a map with a bunch of junk sitting around is still pretty impressive that we're able to do all this stuff, so I don't know, I'm pretty happy with this. There we go. Alright, who we taking? We definitely don't want the allergic one because that can be a problem. Although I'm not really growing anything that has allergy germs in it, which is funny that they call it that, but that's what it is. He could also be one of the colonists up there, so... I'll take him instead. We need more cooks. I don't even think we have more than one. And if we're going to be cooking for 100 people, then we got to stay on top of it, which we eventually will, so that we can get the morale bonuses. Which, as I'm playing this and getting into this phase of the game, I'm kind of realizing that it's really not all that essential for progress if you have enough dupes. They obviously will work better if it's that way, and you have certain things that are gated by morale, but I don't know, I feel like you could stay on low morale for a long time and be fine. Just desperately trying to get enough oxygen up here. Did I get rid of these vents that were on here? Did I mess that up too? Yep, I messed that up too. Nice. Okay, getting back to rebuilding this. We're getting close to having this fully up and running. Though, I guess if we're just being messy, I could just go ahead and turn this on. Alright, is this producing what we want it to? Is there like a bunch of carbon dioxide down here? No, it's oxygen. Okay. Which I guess explains it. There's a good amount of oxygen flowing through here. There still are packets of hydrogen, which is getting really annoying. That's kind of the point of this setup, is just to separate these automatically without needing filtration, so... I don't want to have to filter it, but if I have to, then I guess I have to. There's got to be an exact setup for this that I'm just missing the nuance on, because hydrogen to flow all the way down here would be pretty weird. Unless I just need to turn some of these on to different settings, I'm not sure. But I don't know how hydrogen would go that far. Maybe it's just because it's getting stuck by this? Yeah, that must be it. I need to spend more time actually troubleshooting this and kind of finding the more optimal solution. I know there are exact builds for it, but I'm just not the type of person to go and copy an exact build, and that's probably making me look really silly right now. By the way, we forgot to close this other side. Probably making me look really silly right now to not just optimize this with something that's already solved the problem, so I probably should, but I don't know. I'm just feeling lazy. We don't have enough oxygen coming in here. That's probably because one of the things it's set up for is just pumping in carbon dioxide. That would probably do it. We also need to see how many this is capable of supporting and how many dupes I actually have imprisoned up there. Maybe I need to actually dedicate another machine just to pumping up oxygen. So the oxygen's coming up here is being used like immediately. I'm sure having this open for a while has not been good for it either. Alright, how we doing elsewhere? Getting close? Not really. There actually is a better way to do this, and I probably should. It's better if you actually just build it in like 4 blocks at a time. So then you send a miner up there to kind of mine everything out, and then you send a builder up there to build everything at the same time. It's definitely better than doing it the way I've been doing it. It's just kind of the set and forget it way, which is definitely performs a lot worse. This way, the other way will focus somebody to do an entire job at once, and then it will switch back over to getting another entire job done at once. So definitely a better way to do it that way, but it is a little bit of a tax to manually control. Looking for more sand. I am still running out of sand at a pretty mind-boggling rate. I don't know if I have any sand that's closer than up here. Yeah, not really. There's some down here, but that's about it. Go ahead and dig in here a little bit more, I guess. We have our water locked on, or liquid locked on, so we don't really need this anymore. And then we could probably... I guess I'll just keep it in the pipe for now. We don't really need to deconstruct the pipe or anything like that. The salt water, though... I don't want to have it flow down to the bottom of my base because that's always really annoying. I want to eventually get this all the way connected down to somewhere close to the bottom. You can even see there's a bunch of salt water sitting on here that I don't really want, but there's not a huge reason for that. It's just because I don't like it. Okay. We making progress up here? You got to check back every once in a while. See, then you clear it all out. Then you can get a bunch of people all building up here at the same time. And then you just keep going like that, about 4 spaces at a time. So I'll just do this. And then that's definitely a much faster way to progress if you're trying to dig up through one area. So yeah, definitely trying to speed that up a little bit. Yeah, like I said, there comes a point in the game on pretty much every run where the game really slows down. And there's a lot of points in which you're kind of just waiting for things to be completed, waiting for your dupes to travel to the ends of the map to get stuff done. Definitely in this phase right now, it's at least a little bit better because we have so many duplicants and they could just kind of hammer out a job really fast, but it still is a problem. So definitely something that you'll want to pay attention to on your own runs once you get to this point. And that's usually what the beauty of transit tubes are. I just cannot afford transit tubes on this run either from a power perspective. So yeah, I definitely don't want to worry about that. I'm also curious if it makes sense for... I think it does make sense for me to actually build a space base out here. I don't know if it makes sense for me to build it like inside this so that I already... No, I would need to build the back wall of it. So I am going to build a back wall. We're going to have to do the same thing for the terrarium where the shovels are. Although, I think... No, shovels can just live in space. I don't need to do that. So shovels can kind of be in their own area, and I do have a build idea for this that I think will work out pretty well. I've seen a lot of other... Well, I've seen a couple of builds for this before, and the problem with it is trying to get duplicants in and out of there without letting the shovels also get out. So that's always one of the trickier parts, but I think I have a solution for it. So when it comes time, we'll get that build put out. Now we can destroy these. Hey, we got the bug. There's a buried object in the middle of the air. That's right, the very middle of the air. Man, this is a really deep space biome. There's so much junk in the way. This would also be really funny just to troll me if there weren't no shovels. Yeah, I got English going good for me. If there weren't any shovels up there and I had to wait for an egg, that would just be the final, like, troll upon trolls just to get me to waste a little bit more time here. There's got to be some kind of key to putting this up kind of close to the top so that all the hydrogen just merges together. Probably keeps it not running for a little bit more, but that's probably less of a concern if you're just dumping out hydrogen into the base. I have seen a little bit less of it now that I've corrected a lot of these problems. Oh man, this is getting bad. I mean, I might need to run 2 lines just to dump stuff out into space. There still is oxygen coming out of here though, which is really obnoxious. It's coming from all this stuff. Which, again, there's more polluted water down here, which I guess I'm just going to have to find a way to clean up or just pump out. Let's just do this. There we go. Then we'll get rid of that one. Okay. So you do have to babysit this quite a bit this way. We're making a lot more progress than we would otherwise, but it is really annoying. Hey, there's one. You are about to be my entire food source soon, sir. Okay, we're at time. Definitely making some progress here. By the next video, we will have accomplished the first objective, which is to take on every single dupe from our prints up until we have 100. So we will have 100 dupes by the next video. We are still only on manual power. We have not generated a single watt of anything else. By the way, that's an achievement that I have gotten for the first time, which if we take a look at the achievements here, it's in the colony summary, which is a pretty weird place. There we go. We just got it. I thought I had looked at this already, but generate 240,000 kilojoules of power without using coal, natural gas, petroleum, or wood generators. So we have done it entirely off of this hamster wheel, which is in the icon here. I guess you could do it off of solar as well, but yeah, we have done this. So that kind of proves the point that we have not tried to harvest power from anything else. I guess you could technically do it from steam, but our steam turbines are definitely disconnected. I'm wasting a lot of time. We're really going overtime here, but I just wanted to show that real fast. But yeah, by the time our next video comes out, we will satisfy the first objective. I will stop it at 99 so we can see it being checked off. Maybe I'll do something fancy and like turn the text green or something like that, just to give us a sense of accomplishment in that way, but yeah. So we're getting close. As far as other things going on the channel, my plans are to continue with the DLC run. So check those out. There should be a new video of those out very, very shortly after this one. And then I will probably go back to doing another tutorial video, which is one of my mega tutorials. I'm going to do that on ranching, so look out for that. But yeah, in the meantime, and until I see you guys in another video, or I guess you hear me in another video, have a good one and take care.